and become wise with it.
So I'll contribute in context. What this is bringing up for me is as we go through, we talk about the essences and the energy that, whether it be, again, making distinctions. And I love the concept of distinctions. You can't make a distinction until you have something to make a distinction against, right? You know, it's like a yin and a yang. You could have a yin all day long, but until you bring the yang in, you don't have a whole. So I think in the context of this conversation, making distinctions on what values drive us, right, as human beings. And it's not like it's just the one type of values. Whether you, again, I don't want to continue to categorize feminine and masculine, but for the sake of the conversation, let's just put those values on the table to make distinctions against, right? So you've got the implication of a masculine value system, which you can see epitomized based on what we know as flesh and blood human beings during the timeline of life that we're in. And you look at what it's resulted in is under patriarchal rule when it comes, and you can just, we don't even have to say the words. You can feel the energy and the essence of overbearing, potentially, lack of collaboration, competition, right? And those values. Then you've got the other values, which are more nurturing values, which are um, values of, you know, whatever, kindness, respect, using the word nurturing. And it's almost like trying to put words in this context almost dilutes the essence of it, but I think we understand in our hearts what I'm talking about as we make that distinction. I guess what we get to do as people, realizing that those values are in our hearts and are balanced to some extent, maybe they're off balance, is that we get to lead with the values that we consider to be most important to us, whether it be the values of continuing to win in a capitalistic context. And I want to create an implication of bad energy around that, because I like money as much as anybody else does, right? And we got to make profit. But at the same time, maybe it's not about winning at the cost of others. It's about winning through a collaborative essence of a win-win with others, which is kind of another implication of value. So I think it's a balance and a blending of those values. I actually call them white values versus black values, you know, and that creates another implication of distinction of a spectrum of colors, black, white, and then what's in the middle, a spectrum of grays, or even a spectrum of colors, right? So then what we get to do is determine in our hearts what values we want to lead with. And what I'm choosing, I can speak for myself, is to lead with values of kindness, justice, leading by example, service, respect, courage, uh, and discipline, and structure to some extent. So notice how I blended, as I use those words, blended the essence of those two values around, you know, I was in the military, so militant values of overcoming, which are one side, with the values of collaborative essence and, you know, and love. And I don't think that they're mutually opposed. You can't not have them work together. I think the challenge we've had is especially in our era of extremism, that we don't know how to make them work together. So therefore, the pendulum swings from one side to the other and back. And maybe it's a function of bringing that pendulum to the middle and creating a force and an essence of a collaborative spirit that works together. Does this make sense?
Yeah, well, I think that the important word that you just said was distinction, right? We can't have a distinction without the other side. And so what I'm really feeling about it is that I didn't know what the other side was. I'm literally having to learn what that means. And I am thankful for all of the women who came before me. I think about my mom in this. You know, she hears the learning that I have, and she did that learning but without the support. And now as her daughter, thank God she is who she is, where I don't feel any sort of pull or push between us. She's just at awe in what is capable for me now. But it's really interesting. I'm not sure if I'm getting off topic here, but I think that it's when we don't have these words, when we don't understand what is naturally aligned with who we are, um, and really this goes for anything. We don't even, we can kind of lose the female masculine with that and just think about how we show up in our business. And if we haven't defined how we're showing up, and just like what you were saying, Chris, those values and what we're bringing, but there is an energy that stems from within us, and with where we're at in the world and the society that we have right now, people have better access to where that stems from them, what that looks like, and all the words that they have around it, and the concepts that arise. So yeah, I'm what I'm focusing on for this next year. And Richard, I love that the year starts on the 21st, because I can tell that I'm still bringing things into me, um, is collaboration. I want everything that I do to be from that collaborative space. That's why I'm here with you guys. I want that, and I'm feeling it and owning it and understanding it in a really different way. Like just at the very beginning. I mean, you talk to me in 6 weeks and I feel like I would have so much more to say about all of this. So, yeah.
Oh, here's the collaborative essence. I love it as well. Thank you, Elena.